When I first found out about the water leak, I was actually in Ripley working for the day, and it was on Twitter. I'd just checked briefly, and there was a proclamation from Governor Tomblin that said, "Do not use the water in Charleston."
So I was over at the Capitol, and I remember coming back and smelling something in the air, but not really thinking anything of it. I think that, at that point, no one had any clue.
Now, what was surprising to me, and I think surprising to a lot of people, was how susceptible that water source was.
The first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do.
I didn't know what else to expect, and I was just looking for more answers, as everybody was, I'm sure, but it was just kind of a panic thing, thinking that the water is out. There is no water. Do not use your water.
And so you see how dependent then we have become as a state on our few really clean, productive water sources like the Elk River. And as we lose rivers and their value of drinking water and become dependent on very few, then we become very susceptible to something that would seem like to be a localized event. And instead, that localized event, it touched a third of the state, the residents.
So I think that it became pretty clear pretty quickly that no one in Kanawha County or virtually anywhere in West Virginia was ready for something like that to happen.
But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone or when it's not available to us. That was the first thing that the chemical spill told us, is just how valuable it is. Now, moving into the future, there is no question that the value of water will only go up. And that's true everywhere. So everywhere the value of water will continue to go up as we continue to pollute waterways and as we continue to have increased demand for that water. The second thing it taught us is that we have to be protective of that water. We have to be protective of that water.
Of course, we found out later, as time went on, in the coming days and weeks, what regulations did or didn't exist, what types of enforcement of the existing regulations were even being enforced.
Anyone who knows anything about steel industrial tanks could drive down I-79, look and see 100-year-old pop-riveted carbon steel tanks, and think that maybe they weren't the best thing to be running.
No one had any answers, including freedom, to anything at that point. And I think it pretty much summed up the frustration of media and the public.
I don't know that I would say that even still we officially trust the water. We have switched to bottled water, drinking and cooking, and we also have a tabletop distiller in case we can't get to a bottled water supply.
The less we protect, the more dependent we become on a very, very scarce resource, the more vulnerable then we are to spills like this.
And I wonder in the aftermath of that, how many times over the lifespan of those tanks, people from the city of Charleston, people from Kanawha County Commission, people from the state of West Virginia, the DEP, and all these agencies that are designed to make sure that industry is playing within the parameters that they have been prescribed to be in the state of West Virginia, didn't say anything about these tanks and the condition that they may be in.